what is credit rating, what do the credit rating agencies assess through the credit rating process, and who are the credit rating agencies in India, and what are the factors that they take into account for doing the credit rating. That is what is our discussion. So what is credit rating, friends? We are talking about the fixed income securities, we are talking of the bonds. So fixed income securities and bonds that we are talking about, if when somebody is issuing these bonds or these fixed income securities, and when someone is subscribing for them, how the subscriber take a decision to invest in a particular bond or in a particular fixed income security. So the only way in which the subscriber can take a decision to subscribe for a bond of a company or any other entity for that matter, the only way is for him to assess, evaluate, read the issuer and its background, and then come to his own conclusion about the investment decision and take a decision. Now this is how one can do, but you can imagine how cumbersome it will be, because whenever anyone is coming out with bond issues or any debt instrument for that matter, there are thousands and lakhs of people who would subscribe for these bonds or these debt securities. So if everybody has to do this assessment by themselves, how much time and efforts would be wasted? And plus, everybody may not be in a position to do the assessment, because this is a different ball game altogether. So instead of individuals doing it, instead of the subscribers doing it, what you have these credit rating agencies in the country, not only in the country but globally all over the world. For the debt market, there are credit rating agencies. What these credit rating agencies do, they do the analysis of the entity and which is issuing the debt instrument. They do the analysis of the debt instrument that is being issued, and based on their analysis, and when they do analysis, they take into account number of factors. Taking into account number of factors, based on the analysis of those factors, they give a rating to a debt instrument or to a company. And I'm sure you will know this. So of course, depending on the credit rating agency, the nomenclature can be different. So you will have a company giving a rating as A, AA, A plus, AA plus, AAA, AAA plus, B, B plus, and things like that. So different companies will give you different rating. Now, what is the significance of this rating? Significance of this rating is the subscriber does not have to do the whole rigmarole by himself. Instead of that, he just need to look at the credit rating, and every credit rating has a meaning. Investment grade hai, sub investment grade hai, junk grade hai, or doubtful grade, whatever. So those ratings will specify, and based on that specification, the subscriber will be able to take a decision based on his investment, based on his risk appetite. So that is what is credit rating is, and this is what the credit rating agencies do in this country. Unfortunately or incidentally, there have been umpteen number of cases, and this is really unfortunate. There have been umpteen number of cases where the credit rating agencies have failed miserably. They have really failed miserably, and they have caused chaos for the entire economy. The classic example was the ILFS, and I'm sure all of you must have read about it, heard about it, and must have analyzed it. One of the reasons as to why, there are many reasons of course. Corporate governance, the lack of corporate governance was one major reason. But other than the corporate governance and other reasons, one reason was the failure on the part of the credit rating agency in doing the credit rating correctly. So they did it correctly, and they realized that there was something wrong, and still they gave a wrong credit rating, and that created the whole circus as far as the ILFS is concerned, which really pulled the economy for some time, which brought the credibility of the non-banking finance companies very, very significantly. Now, what are the factors or which are the agencies that we have in this country? So we have these are the agencies. You got a CRISIL, ICRA, CARE, Fitch, Brickwork Rating India Private Limited, SME Rating Agency of India Limited. Now these are the ones that I know, but I'm sure there may be a few more. But these are the prominent ones who do the credit rating in this country. Now, what are the factors that would be considered by the credit rating agencies in assigning the credit rating? तो क्या क्या वो देखेंगे? Number one, they will look at the EIC analysis. I'm sure you all will know what is EIC analysis. EIC analysis would mean economy, industry, and the company analysis. So this is what the credit rating agency do. They will take into account. Number two, strength of the promoter and the management quality. This is what they would look at. What is the business risk in case of that particular company, and what is financial risk? So there are many factors that you will take into account for doing the business and for analyzing the business risk. There are many factors that you will take into account for analyzing the financial risk, but two things that you would look at for evaluating the business risk: you look at the gross profit ratio of the entity, and you look at the EBITDA ratio of the entity. So if the entity's gross profit ratio is good, that means this company is fundamentally strong. And if the EBITDA ratio of an entity is good, that means this company is fundamentally strong. And why is that so? Because if the gross profit ratio is good, and please understand, if the gross profit ratio of an entity is good, what does it mean? It means the company is able to command a premium as far as its products are concerned, and therefore the company is able to sell the product at a higher price. Likewise, since the gross profit ratio is high, it also means that the material cost of this company is less, or this company is able to command and dictate the raw material price, and that is the reason the gross profit ratio is high. So gross profit ratio will be high when the gross profit is high. Gross profit will be high when gross profit will be high when the selling price is high, material cost is low, manufacturing cost is also low, then the gross profit will be high. So if the gross profit is high, gross profit ratio is high. If gross profit ratio is high, that means it indicates that the business has got less business risk. If it is further coupled with the EBITDA, good EBITDA ratio, that means this business has got less business risk. How do you evaluate the financial risks? For the financial risk, of course, you will take into account many things, but one thing that you will take into account is the financial leverage ratio, debt equity ratio, and you will compare the debt equity ratio with the EBITDA. So if the EBITDA is good and debt equity ratio is less, that means this business has got a less financial risk. And what is the meaning of financial risk? Meaning of financial risk is the company's ability to service the debt. If a company has good ability to service the debt, company has got a less financial risk. If the company has got company has got a low EBITDA and high debt equity ratio, that means company के पास कर्जा ज़्यादा है लेकिन EBITDA कम है. इसका मतलब company is lacking the ability to service the debt. That means the financial risk is high. So this is how the credit rating agencies will take into account these factors. So ability to service the debt is what they would look at, and based on this they would come out with their rating as to whether the business has got the ability to service the debt and pay the interest and also redeem the loan from time to time. So friend, this is all about I thought that I would discuss with you as far as the fixed income securities are concerned. And now we would try and look at the embedded derivatives. I understand that we have a time till about 12:45, so we need to bind up by 12:45, and therefore what I will do is I will straight come to the embedded derivatives and cover the embedded derivatives, and then of course we sign off for the day. So I'm going to close this one and yeah, Rajendra, you can unmute and please speak, no problem. While I'm trying to change the slide, you can share what you want to share.
You have written ability to repay.
Yeah.
Is considered by credit rating agencies.
Correct.
But along with ability, willingness should also not be taken into account. Because there are companies like DHFL
हाँ,
which had the ability, but the promoters siphoned the money.
yeah, correct, correct. But the problem ये है ना, if you see, I am talking about the background of the promoters. If you see in one of the slide, I mentioned also the background of the promoters. So when I say background of the promoters, and that is what I mean to say. I hope you follow me. सो बैकग्राउंड द प्रमोटर का मतलब वही है कि भाई चेक कर लो कि ये प्रमोटर्स का बैकग्राउंड क्या है, इन लोगों के इंटेंशन क्या है, एंड दैट इज़ द मीनिंग, दैट इज़ वेयर इट इज़ टेकन केयर ऑफ. Unfortunately or incidentally, this willingness is something of the promoter is something one will have to be really careful. तो अगर क्रेडिट रेटिंग एजेंसी ईमानदारी से काम करें तो उसमें दिक्कत नहीं होती है. दिक्कत कहाँ पे होती है? जब क्रेडिट रेटिंग एजेंसी ईमानदारी से काम नहीं करती हैं. क्रेडिट रेटिंग एजेंसी अगर उनके वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट है और वो उनके वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट को ध्यान में रख के काम करेंगे, then there is a problem, then there is a serious problem. So I hope that answers your question, Rajendra. Does it?
Yes.
Okay. So now we come to the embedded options. Okay, friends, are you able to see it on your screen? A slide that reads embedded options. Are you able to see this? Anyone can please confirm?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Embedded options. Okay. Now,